Hello, this is Jeremy from the I Watched It With My Wife podcast. I'm here to tell you about Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, much like we do with I Watched It With My Wife or Caregiver Chronicles. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on many different podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole works. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello and welcome to I Watched It With My Wife. This is the podcast where my wife Sarah and I watch movies or documentaries or docuseries and review them. But this week we have something special. We are watching the Disney Plus visual album by Billie Eilish called Happier Than Ever, a love letter to Los Angeles. Here she sings all of the songs from her latest album called Happier Than Ever at the iconic Hollywood Bowl out in Hollywood, California. And everyone sings every one of the songs beginning to end, and they put it on Disney Plus and interspersed with some music video type graphics and stuff. So it's definitely really interesting. So Sarah, tell us what you thought of Happier Than Ever, a love letter to Los Angeles.
So it's no secret that I really enjoy Billie Eilish's music. I think she has a phenomenal voice. She's a very talented young woman. She's also very pretty. She's a very pretty young woman. She's very talented. Her voice is just beautiful. It's very unique and beautiful to me. That's what I hear when I listen to her. I'm a big fan of her older stuff. I knew about half the songs, I think.
I don't know how many.
I think I knew about half the songs, or at least I'd heard probably about half the songs, at least 5 songs off of the album already.
So about a third of them.
Okay.
Because there was 15 songs, I believe.
All right, yeah. So I had heard about a third of the songs off the album already. It was a little bit like my only criticism is I wish there was like an audience, but there couldn't be, so I understand that. I think that would have just made it more interesting.
Yeah.
It felt almost like I was watching one really long music video rather than a concert.
Yeah, I get
or
that.
Or a performance.
Yeah, I get that. What it kind of reminds me of, and for those of you who don't know, I review a lot of stuff for the What's on Disney Plus website for things that are on Disney Plus. I had to review a special that was a celebration of the music of the movie Coco, and that was also performed at the Hollywood Bowl. It was a concert just playing every song that's in the movie with the people in the movie who sang each one. So there's like 3 or 4 different versions of Remember Me, but it was done pre-pandemic, so there was. And the Hollywood Bowl was filled, and it was a fun concert. You saw a bunch of people having fun. It was a great celebration of the Latino culture. I think this would have benefited from that, of having some type of audience there, but California had the strictest restrictions of any state, so it would have taken a long time before they could have shot anything. So I understand why they did that. If you watch it, they even had glass. Basically, the drummer was in a glass cubicle to separate him from Billie Eilish and her brother. They did not have anything around them, I guess, mostly because, they probably still live together, or at least are close enough to each other that it wouldn't matter for them.
Yeah. I would imagine that Billy and Phineas are in each other's bubbles and social circles. I don't know if they still live in the same house. I know they did at one time, but I don't know if they still live in the same house. And yeah, but they're siblings. I'm sure they see each other often. That's the people that are supposed to be in your bubble. I even like the orchestra and stuff like that in the background, they were separated and they were separated from
the
Billy and
band.
Phineas. Yeah. So it was really I did enjoy it. There were a few moments it was a little sleepy, but I was a little tired.
And sometimes her music is sleepy.
Yeah, her music has a mellowness to it. Some of it does. Some of it's a little more come at you. But it has like a mellowness to it. And that's what I like about it, honestly, is that mellowness, that beat. It's like good music to just like kind of relax to. And enjoy. So again, my only critique is I think it really needed a live audience, but I understand why they couldn't have one. I would love to see this performed again with a live audience. I actually think it would be really cool if she did it again with her future albums.
Yeah, this seems to be a trend of putting visual albums on Disney Plus. At the very least, or I told you about that concert. Beyonce had a visual album that came out last year. Taylor Swift had two that came out on Disney Plus. So it was a way for artists to still connect with their fans and get their new music out through a new medium
And in a
during the
more
pandemic.
personal level. It did seem a little more personal.
Yeah, but through a new medium. So I could see this continuing, especially since music videos seem to be going, the way of the dinosaur. You, not a lot of people are just sitting down and just watching traditional music videos now. If they do watch them, they're released on YouTube, not so much to, MTV or VH1 or anything like that. Those channels don't even show music related stuff anymore a lot of the time. So I could see this being the way, when you release a new album, you release a visual version through whoever you're contracted through, whether it be Disney Plus, or I could see Netflix signing up some of these, or Apple TV Plus or Amazon. The streaming services, I think, would benefit from it tremendously. The artists would benefit from it tremendously, and the fans would jump at it. So I could see this continuing with future albums.
Yes. And again, I think that this is a trend I'd like to see continue. I do like the music videos.
Oh, I love music videos,
I
but
like to watch music videos. I love to listen to music. I'm almost always listening to music, so I don't know. I really like it. The other thing I really liked about this, I liked the cartoon part. I thought it
yes,
was well drawn. I thought it was really beautiful. I loved like the old Hollywood vibes you got from it. I thought that was super cool. Um I did enjoy this.
I
I,
enjoyed the animation. I enjoyed the concept. I would have liked it better if there was an audience. So would you.
yeah.
I would have liked a better different artist personally, because I don't like Billie Eilish all that much. Although there were a few songs that I found enjoyable on this album that I haven't heard yet. Like a lot of the ones she's released don't appeal to me, but some of the ones that that haven't been released on the radio, I was like, oh, this is good. Release this one, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, she might, or sometimes you don't know.
And I can't tell you how many bands I've listened to when I bought their album. I found songs that I like better than any of their singles on the album. So that's why they make albums.
Yes. I don't really have anything else to add. I just, like I said, to sit and just stare at the TV the whole time for this is a little bit tedious. Like I said, music videos have the less length of the song. Watching one for over an hour is kind of,
Yeah, it was an hour and 5 minutes.
yeah, it's a little, my attention span's just not that long. But but I did thoroughly enjoy it. I think it's really good to have on. I wouldn't recommend sitting down and just sitting there and just like watching it. This is the kind of thing I would recommend having on in the background while maybe you're doing some housework or whatever, or you got to do something else and you just need like background music, or you have your TV with Disney Plus. This is what I would put on for like background noise, because it's music.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. If they wanted you to sit down and watch it for an hour, I think they have to break up the stuff better in editing for that, because she did go from one to sometimes two, three songs in a row before you saw any more of the animation. And that's the thing. It felt like one, as you said, one long music video rather than, 15 different songs
Or a concert,
or a
yeah.
concert. So I think if they broke it up a little bit, kind of like we have the Beatles One album, and it came with a DVD that has live performances of the Beatles singing every song on there, and it's divided up a little bit better. I think that would work for this, if for stuff like this going forward, where they divide it up where there's a clear difference, even if it is, Now, granted, those were all taken from different live performances, so that was easier to do, whereas this is taken from the same live performance, so they might not want to do it too much. I can see the criticism of that, but I think it would work better to get people to sit down and watch the whole thing rather than just put it on the background. But at the same time, at the same time, if it's on in the background, it's still counting as a play towards the content. It's still counting as a play towards Disney Plus. So it's something that Disney and Billie Eilish will both benefit from, whether you're actually watching it or if you're just listening while you do other things. So not a bad thing.
No, not bad at all. Like I said, for the most part I enjoyed it. I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like I guess I enjoyed the music of it. The visuals weren't bad. It was just, again, to watch it all for that amount of time was a bit much. But like I said, I really enjoyed the music. I will put it back on when I'm doing other things or whatever. It could be a good thing to put on and do other things in the background. I have no negative critiques, really.
So I have a question here. What artists would you like to see do one of these in the future for any of the streaming services?
That's tough. Artist or band?
Either.
Either or.
Yeah.
And
that's tough because there are great people in all genres that would really thrive in this setting.
Yeah, that's the thing, is my brain is trying to hop from genre to genre. I feel like the Foo Fighters, I would really love to see them. I would like to see the artist Her. I really like her music a lot. I think Post Malone is someone who I could see. He is a very good performer. I really like, I know some of his music is overproduced, but I really like when Post Malone is just playing music and singing. I think he has done stuff like this though, hasn't he? Yeah.
He probably has.
Okay. Let me think. Who else? I got quite a few. I don't know. I got quite a few that I can think of.
Well, I was just thinking about it, and right when the pandemic started, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood, they do this Facebook Live where they just take requests from their fans and they play the song, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be any of their songs. It could just be any song in general. And they did that, and CBS aired that. They worked out a deal and they aired that, and it was really cool to see. Requests would come in, and they would just, as soon as Garth figured out what to do and play the song, and it was just the two of them and an acoustic guitar in the studio in their basement. And I feel like those two would really thrive for country music fans in this environment where you would do stuff like that, because they are both immensely talented for in the realm of country music. It says Garth can play pretty much anything on the guitar. I learned that because someone's like, "Oh yeah, that song's like wait, boop, doop." As soon as he found the key, boom, he was gone.
I think Kelly Clarkson would be another artist that I'd like to see because she has such an amazing voice too. It's got to be somebody whose aesthetic and or like the band has to be just like really entertaining.
Yes, they have to put on good live shows.
I think Kelly Clarkson she has an amazing voice. Who else? There's quite a few that are racking through my brain right now. I would love to see Christina Aguilera do something like this, but I don't think she has new music coming out anytime soon, but I'm not sure. I feel like The Offspring would be really fun to watch. I really do. Who else? My brain is just going in so many directions with bands.
Well, there are a bunch through all genres that
Eminem.
Eminem is one, yes. Absolutely. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank the visual album Happier Than Ever, A Love Letter to Los Angeles?
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Yep, 8.5 because I think it would be a 10 if it had an audience.
All right.
I think that would have made it more interesting.
I'm going to give it a 6.5 because I agree with you on the audience, and I would prefer. There are plenty of other musicians I would rather hear because I like their music better.
Dave Matthews. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I may just have an aneurysm from you even suggesting Dave Matthews.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I would like to see the surviving members of Grateful Dead do something like that, but I feel like it might be a little slow. Because they're not as lively as they used to be, but I know they still tour. Like Dead and Company. I think that would be interesting too.
All right. But that'll wrap up this episode of I Watched It With My Wife. Tell us what you thought of this visual album if you checked it out. And if you have any comments on previous episodes, let us know. We are on Facebook, I Watched It With My Wife, Twitter, @WatchedWife, and Instagram, with my wife pod.
Yep.
And you can also reach out to us on Anchor, I Watched It With My Wife, and you could leave us a question. We'll even play it on here if you do.
Yes. Or you can email us at withmywifepod@gmail.com. Our website is currently down. We are working on possibly transitioning to a new host and rebuilding the site. So,
all right, so that'll do it, and we'll see you next time on I Watched It With My Wife. Bye.
See you next time.